Welcome to another episode of my podcast, That's Fine With Me. Today we're going to be talking about fetish. Fetishes, to be exact, and I was digging some information and I found something juicy, and a lot of it is not even going to be covered in today's podcast because, well, that is a vast topic that has so many details and so many technicalities that it's really hard to find it in a small, let's say, search. And I don't really want to bore you with a lot of information, a lot of detail. If you have any sort of interest in this topic, first of all, you can check this out yourself, some other articles to dip into this topic even more, or I will probably do another part of the video and later on if you are interested. Okay, let's get started. So most common fetishes, I guess most of you know this, are related to some body parts, as maybe some toes and feet, maybe hands, booty, other parts of the body. And it actually is a huge trend right now that I see. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I see this on some certain pages with comedy style. Maybe it's some sort of commercial, or maybe it's a real thing where people are actually insistent and showing you that you can earn money by sharing your photos of your feet, maybe your toes, and how much money they actually earn out of this. I never checked this information, so I have no idea how much money they make, but I guess it's a great business for some people that are not disgusted by this topic, of course. And not only body, let's say, parts are sparkling an interest in people and in this fetish. Mainly it's some clothes and maybe heels, sneakers, I don't know, whatever you wear. Maybe it's some sort of sculptures. I do know about fetishes with the couches and beds and maybe some cotton fabrics. All of it can get you arousal, I guess, if you have certain fetishes, but I'm not talking about this type of things in today's article. If you want me, I can cover this later. So feet are the most common things among fetishes, and of course we talked about this real quick, which is fine, and we're going to talk about this later on. I don't really want to shame anyone. I don't want to talk shit about people that have fetishes, because it's like whatever you do behind closed doors, it's your business. It's none of my business. I have my point on this. I can view from a little bit different perspective, a little bit different angle, but I don't really mind if it's consensual, if you feel like it's great for you, maybe you can heal some trauma, that's fine. Okay, so I have some statistics here that are kind of important in my opinion, that people are crazy, certain people are crazy about body fluids. It can be urine, it can be feces, and the worst part can be blood. I don't even know how it's kind of incorporated into sexual life, blood, and how people are getting arousal by blood. Is it a maniac thing? I guess maybe it's more about some crazy fetishes and crazy sort of when people are killing, because I do believe it's a fetish as well, but in a darker side, that it's not normal and it's not fine. But I don't really know how it's formed, how it's performed, and what is it about blood in sexual way. But I do know that 45% men and probably 35% women, they're fantasizing about spit, or they're using the spit in their sexual arousals, which I feel is a little weird. It's not weird. I know that a lot of people are using spit while they're having sex when it's a little bit dry down there during this kind of sex stage, but is it like a real thing when people are fantasizing about spit, and when they see spit, are they kind of getting anything sexual out of it, or fantasizing about spit? Honestly, I did a research, but I still have no idea how people are incorporating this in their routine. And of course, 31% and 14% women, 31% men and 14% women are fantasizing about breast milk. No idea, no comments, guys. 32% men and 15% women are fantasizing about urine, and 6% men, 2% women are fantasizing about fences. So feces, it's a little bit different topic to talk. I have no idea how it actually happens, or they're literally pooping and covering themselves in this poop and they feel great about it, or they're watching how someone is pooping and it's getting the arousal. I don't really want to explore this topic. It's a little bit disgusting to me. That's why I don't really want to explore this. And I do know that some trauma is probably behind this experience, but it's fine if you feel it's okay for you, and maybe if you feel disgust afterwards, it's some certain things that you would probably share with a psychologist, but I don't want to explore this topic any deeper and further. Maybe later on, I don't know, guys. So there is a difference between fantasies and fetishes. The fantasy is something that can change throughout your life. Maybe today you're fantasizing about having big boobs, and tomorrow you're fantasizing about big dicks, and like the day after that you're fantasizing about pooping in the pool. I don't know. And then it's like about fantasies, but fetishes, they're not changing. Most of the time people are incorporating this into their lives, and great examples when people are having their group chats about certain fetishes, like, oh, I love when people are peeing on me, and there's certain people that are sharing their experience, how they incorporate this in their sexual life. Or maybe instead of just like group chats, they're watching porn when someone is peeing on someone, or maybe pooping. I have no idea. I've never watched porn with any sort of fetish. I did watch porn, I guess, once with my husband, and it was maybe like, I don't know, 10 minutes of this porn, and that was it for me. I don't really watch porn. I don't know. I get arousal without that. I feel like I can read a book. Yeah, sometimes I can read a book like 50 Shades of Grey. Well, yeah, it's quite explanatory, and I can feel the sexual tension afterwards, but like watching porn, it's probably something not for me. And maybe I would feel a little bit guilty at the end of the porn. That's why I don't really watch it. I don't know. And then having real sex with this fetish, it's a little bit different story. Like we discussed porn, group chats, and now like real sexual experience. By the way, I wonder if there's certain people who are fantasizing and they're in these group chats and they're actually watching porn, but they're not actively participating in the actions. Is it some sort of fantasy or a fetish? Maybe some of you know. Let me know in the comments. So yeah, fetish will stay. There is a difference between fantasies. Just fantasies will fade away, and fetishes will stay with you till the rest of your life, or maybe when you work on that with a psychologist, or maybe something like this. Well, and a study in Montreal showed that at least 50% of interviewed people by phone, so they used phone, they were not directly speaking to people, they actually called people and asked if they had any sort of fetish. 50% of these, let's say, interviewed people, the crowd, let's say, shared they had at least one fetish. And of course, we understand there are probably more than 50%, because you talk to a stranger, and I don't really think every single stranger is going to share their fetish with someone calling him. It's a little weird, okay? And of course, men were more eager to share their fetishes than women. And I guess men, they feel some sexual experience they have is a little bit more like, they might be a little bit cocky about this. It feels like, oh, I have experience in different fields and different things sexually. That's why I feel more or less fine sharing this experience. And I feel like I'm cool. And women are a little bit more humble, and they don't really want to share this experience. Not always, not all women. I'm not generating this. I'm not saying that every single person is similar, but according to certain studies, women are a little bit more kind of like reserved to themselves in this topic. And of course, yeah, not every single person is willing to share their deepest, let's say, secrets and desires with someone calling by the phone, someone they have no idea who's calling, like they don't really know this person. And of course, we have a little bit different issue with fetishes, because media is showing this as something bad. It's prohibited, and people are not allowed to talk about this in social media, especially on TV. And a lot of the fetishes are shown in a bad light, in a bad way, and people are ashamed of this topic, and they're ashamed to speak their truth. I will share my experience where I watched some videos and people offered this type of job to show their pics and toes and feet. I feel it's fine. When I came across this video, I didn't feel any sort of disgust. I didn't feel anything like, oh, it's so bad to give this permission to show this certain commercial. I don't really think it should be commercialized. I don't really think it should be that spreaded. But if people are talking about these fetishes, it's fine. I mean, like, it's your thing that happens behind closed doors. Why wouldn't you share this experience? And do you remember Sex and the City? I actually go back to Sex and the City a lot in my series. I mean, in my podcast, because a lot of these series included examples of real life and sexual experiences. Specifically, they talked about fetishes in 2 episodes. The first one with the Charlotte, she wanted to purchase some shoes, but she didn't really want to waste a lot of money, and she came over some shop, and there was a guy who offered his help with choosing these shoes, and he was definitely feeling something. That's why he just gifted these shoes to Charlotte. And when she shared this experience with her girls, they said like, it's not okay. It's not okay. You are willingly participating in this fetish. But is it bad? Like, if this guy feels something great, I guess, feels about your feet and you're getting something for free and you didn't feel ashamed before your friends told you that's not okay. So I guess it's a little bit different side of the story. If you don't really want to participate in this, do not do this. But if you felt it was okay and then someone told you it's not okay, well, why do you care? These people are not like going to be involved in this business, let's say, when they would need to give their feet and their toes to some random guy and then he will give some shoes as a gift. So yeah, I don't really think so. I don't really think it's that was a right take on the situation. And another really weird fetish they showed, it was with the pee, with the urine. Do you remember Carrie? So Carrie was dating a politician and it was really good. It was great. And he asked her to pee on him and she felt uncomfortable, which is totally okay. And I totally get it. Not every single person is going to be comfortable with your own fetish. That's why I believe it's okay to find someone in a group chat first. I don't know how people find each other, but still it's probably better to find someone who's sharing the same, let's say, experience and sharing the same interests. And maybe then you will offer this, because most of the time you will scare off people if they don't really want to participate in this. And you are going to be ashamed of this. This person is going to be ashamed and probably it's not going to work out. I guess Carrie was handling the situation quite well because she said, I don't really feel comfortable peeing on you, but I can participate in certain things. Like I probably wouldn't close the door when I pee and maybe you will close your eyes and I will just pour some water on you. And that was interesting because she had so many suggestions and she was willing to carry on with this relationship. But his reaction was quite weird. Maybe he was a little bit ashamed of this whole situation and that she wasn't into that. That's why they broke up. And the move he had in the series was weird when he was shaming her and whatever. So yeah. So how does it really form? How does the fetish form? Honestly, I don't think people can track the real thing that happened. When did this happen? What was the cause of this fetish? And most of the time it's formed in a childhood or during your teenage puberty, let's say. I don't know. And I'd say there are certain categories of fetish. The first one is conditioning, the second one is childhood, and the third one is unique biology. But as they explained, if you have a boyfriend who's using certain smell that you really like, and when you kiss your boyfriend or when you kiss your girlfriend with a smell, you feel sexual tension and arousal. And later on, you get arousal by the smell, not by the person. But when you smell this, you feel arousal because it gives you a flashback or some sort of memory of a kiss of your girlfriend or boyfriend, and that's why you feel arousal whenever you feel the smell of certain fragrance. But frankly speaking, it's not only I don't feel it's a real fetish. I know a lot of people are feeling sexual tension when they smell something good, and especially when it reminds them of their partner. I am but at the same time, it's a little weird that you feel, not even weird, it's not weird, but it's a little bit, in my opinion, weird because my dad, he used to smell do you remember, maybe you know this fragrance, I don't know, in 90s, early 2000s, my mom purchased and kind of gifted my dad Versace blue jeans fragrance, and I was obsessing over this fragrance, and my mom really loved it. My dad even really liked the smell. So my dad was using this fragrance constantly, and it got to the point where it stopped, the lunch had stopped, and it discontinued, and later I found a dupe, or I can't even say it's a dupe, I guess it's just the same fragrance in the same bottle, but it's not from Versace anymore. It's just some random maybe Chinese brands that are still manufacturing the smell. And I purchased the smell to my husband. Did I feel any sexual arousal while my husband was spritzing this fragrance all over his, face, I don't know, body, hair, whatever. No, I just really love the smell. I don't feel any sexual arousal when he's using this fragrance, but I really love it. It's nostalgic, it's when you smell it and it reminds you of some childhood, and it's something sweet and warm. It's more about that. It's more about a nostalgic feeling, not a sexual feeling. That's why, yeah, I believe it's a little bit more like a fetish if you feel arousal or sexual tension whenever you feel a certain smell. Because yeah. And by the way, I do kiss my husband. I have sex with my husband, which is normal. And I smell him during this time because he's having this, fragrance on. But still, I don't, whenever he's spritzing this fragrance and we go out, I don't feel any sexual tension whenever I feel the smell. So yeah, it's probably not the case. If you tell me that your dad used this, that's why you're not feeling sexual arousal, because you did not kiss your dad. And but with my husband, I do kiss my husband and I still do not feel any sexual tension. So yeah, it's a little weird example in my opinion, but maybe you can relate and maybe you understand what I'm talking about. A little bit different. Certain things that happen with a childhood explanation when people, it's a little bit weird when people are fantasizing about knots, to get tied, and they want to be tied and they feel like someone can do whatever they want to them while they are tied, their hands and their legs, and they can't move, and it feels really sexual. And most of the time it's formed in a childhood when there's some certain games, and when kids are tying you, when they're playing their game and they're feeling something down there while they're tied. And later it's forming in some maybe abusement. Do you know this certain situation, especially like 50 Shades of Grey, when he needed to beat someone to get the sexual to get off the sexual tension. It's a little bit different type of fetish. But it's with beating, with all of it. Okay, just I don't really want to. And he had trauma in his childhood when someone was beating him, so he now wants to beat someone else to get the sexual tension off. It's hard, and I guess everyone needs therapy when it's harmful. And of course, like unique biology, I guess it's related to some maniacs. Because they feel they want to kill someone and it's something not good in their brains, and they feel they want to have sex with like dead bodies. All of it is not okay. So I don't even want to pursue this topic. I feel it's some serious issue and problem, and I guess this is certain things that was described as a unique biology. I guess some mental issues and mental problems. So and a little bit different thing that I want to discuss is how disgust is forming sexual tension as well. Disgust and fetish. How is it related? Most of the time it's about poop, facets, okay, about urine, all of it. It's just like fluids and whatsoever. Well, medieval times, people had no access to showers. Not everyone had this opportunity. And of course, the smell was disgusting. The dirt, sometimes people had, body issues. They were itching. They had rotten teeth. Of course, all of it is disgusting. But people, of course, needed to procreate in terms to have kids in the future, of course, and to prolong their line. And most of the time they had no condoms. They had nothing to, prevent further kids. That's why they would give birth to plenty of them, maybe 15 plus kids. And of course, how do they feel sexual arousal? Let's say not even sexual, but like arousal when it's so disgusting and it's filthy and smelly. Of course, whenever disgust has its, let's say, influence on some person, there is a different thing, like you need to procreate and you start, like, I don't know, stimulating or doing something, and you forget about all those disgusting things because you are in the process and you are not feeling disgusting while you're in the process. Of course, you will probably feel afterwards, but for now, you just have this, let's say, purpose to procreate, maybe to fulfill certain desires that you're feeling, this tension inside of you, and that's why you are not feeling this way anymore. I have, it's not even a fetish. No, I don't really think it's fetish. But I feel disgusted whenever there's certain fluids, not even fluids. I can't stand when people are brushing their teeth in front of me. I hate this toothpaste and people with a full mouth of this toothpaste. I will literally throw up. I hate a lot of spitting. Oh my God, I do really feel nauseous right now, and the nausea is coming, so it's gonna be brave. I hate the consistency, weird consistency. I love creams, but I don't really like the sluggy creams. I hate yogurts with fruits because the consistency of these fruits, it's a little weird and it's disgusting in my opinion. So every single time I eat it, I will literally throw up. And I don't feel any sexual tension, and I don't really want to fantasize about any sort of things. I will literally throw up. So some people, when they feel disgusted, they feel arousal, and some people, when they feel disgusted, they will throw up. I am a little bit different kind of person. I will throw up. And of course, we can describe certain things like, oh, when people smell farts, when people smell feet, blood, urine, and it's a little bit disgusting, but they will feel disgusted afterwards. For now, they feel like it's a real fetish. It's a little bit crazy fetish, especially with blood and urine and feces. So yeah, and farts. I did read about women or men feeling sexual attraction to a fart. I don't know, it's weird. But okay, this is none of my business. Final, let's say, topic I want to touch in today's podcast is trauma. A lot of people are traumatized in their childhoods, and of course, this trauma is relived in different aspects of their lives, and people are maybe suffering, and someone is incorporating in their sexual life trauma they had while they were kids. And I read about example, a guy, he shit in his pants, if I'm mistaken, and he was humiliated, and then he had some disease related to some, problems with the digestive system. That's why he feels really sexually attracted, whenever people are talking about Vasas. And whenever, I don't know if when he's going to like a toilet every day, is he feeling aroused? I have no idea. He did not specify anything. He did not discuss this, but it is an interesting way of dealing with the problem. So this person, he's not bringing this on someone else. He's not, let's say, suffering from this trauma whenever he goes out. He's just incorporating this into his sexual life. And frankly speaking, it's better to be fully consensual. I had my own trauma when I was a kid, not even a kid, I was in my puberty and I was a child, I guess, maybe teenager, and I had situations when I had the worst pain in my stomach. I was walking down the street, and then I had the worst pain. That's why I had to call my mom and ask her to pick me up. Then my mom, she said she couldn't do this, and my dad, he picked me up, he brought me home, and I had the worst diarrhea. Like, I remember this was really bad. And my trauma did not lead me to some fetish. It's more about whenever I go out, I need to know there's certain place with a toilet or bathroom where I can go if I feel bad. So it's a little bit different kind of thing. I feel a little bit scared if there's no place with a toilet or if I can't use it. And there's a certain thing in my mind, in my brain's like, what if I feel the same way again? What if I feel like I need to go to a bathroom and I have the worst pain and I'm stuck in the middle of the street and I have nowhere to go? And that is my problem that I try to work on. And I remember whenever I go and I travel somewhere, that's something in the back of my head. Where do I find a toilet? Where do I find if anything happens? So yeah, I relieve my trauma my way. Someone relieves their trauma their own way. I guess it's kind of like, okay, do I have any sort of fetishes? I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. Maybe I do, and I don't even know that is a fetish. Because when you read these articles, you say with the TV, with the media, you're like, oh, with feces, urine, that is a fetish. Well, disgusting. But when you see something like, whenever you smell something, some fragrance, you feel sexual tension. Well, it's not that bad. Actually, it's not that bad, but it's still a fetish. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments, do you know anything about fetishes? Do you know how it's forming? Do we need to treat this? Do we need to talk to psychologists? Is it ruining a life? Or it's just a lot of fun? Why can't you have fun when you're with a partner, with a consensual partner, and you're just playing around and do whatever you want? It's just behind closed doors. Why do you care? So just let me know, guys. I love you all so much, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next podcast. That's fine with me. Till next time. Bye-bye.